So, hello guys, I'm Aisha Agarwal from Tech Club. Today I will be taking the workshop for Blender simulation, Blender physics step simulation. So, before starting this workshop, I would like to tell you that right now the for round one forms are open for recruitments. You can go and fill if you have registered for recruitment in the VTOP section and you have joined the WhatsApp group. You will be getting the details. Other than that, I am currently using Blender 2.9 because it is a bit more stable than 3.0. If you guys are using 3.0 or older version of Blender, it is completely fine. Whatever I will do today, it will be, you can implement directly in any version of the Blender. And let's just begin. Before starting this Blender workshop, I would like to just to tell you guys just simple, very simple shortcuts which will really helpful you in this Blender journey. I hope if you are watching this stream, you have some basic knowledge about Blender. Otherwise, it will be a bit upper level of the Blender as we are seeing some simulations. You can go and watch previous streams on Tech channel for if you are just a beginner. So before the like to move in viewport, press middle mouse button and you can just you by moving your mouse you can just move in the viewport. If you press shift and then middle mouse button, then you can just go sideways, upways like this. And to move a object, press G on your keyboard and you can move freely. If you want to move it on x-axis, just press G, then press X to move it in x-axis, or to move it in y-axis, press G and then y-axis. For same for z-axis. And other than that, like if you want to rotate, press R, and if you want to rotate it in specific axis, press that key. Like if you want to rotate it in x-axis, you can press R and x-axis, and same other stuff like that. Okay, moving on. uh, I think these are just some basics, and other than that, you can go by pressing tab key. You can switch between edit mode and object mode. These two modes. Today we will be mostly seeing all the stuff in these two modes. Mm, okay, let's just begin. Okay, let's just begin the simulation part. Before going any further, let me show you the simulation tab. This icon is the simulation tab. If you can't see me, let me just zoom it out a bit. This one is the physics step section. Here you can see many different type of physics simulation are available. Today we are try to see three or four type of simulation. First we will be seeing the basics of it. After that we will be building some small project out of it by trying to see what in which way it will be useful or helpful in your simulations. And in last workshop I have shown you this modifier tab. And you can also use modifier tab for physics simulation, but it is just restricted to some properties only. You can by going to in physics tab, you can access more of these properties. Okay, and last time we have just seen the generator tab modifiers. Deform modifiers we will be covering in future workshops, but right now it's time for the physics simulations. Going back to the physics simulation. Okay, let's just start with the rigid body because it is a bit easier to understand. Let's just start with rigid bodies. Before using the rigid bodies, let me just introduce a plane also. It will be easier to explain. Let me just adjust this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So from the name, it suggests rigid body, like rigid body. From the name, what it suggests, it does the same thing. So let me show you. Like if let me just take this block and apply the rigid body simulator. I have applied by clicking on it. I can apply it, and if I want to remove it, just press this on cross icon, and you can remove it. Okay. Right now, it is just doing nothing. It is just standing idly. But now if I press the space bar, this is the timeline section. Here you can see uh, how many how your frames, what is happening. By pressing the space bar key, you can just start a simulation. Right now you just saw that this box just pass away from this the plane. This is because right now this block has rigid body simulator, but it do not this plane do not have any simulation or anything applied. That's why it is not doing any harm to this anything to this block. Like, let me show you one more thing. Some might have the question, if I remove this rigid body, you can see that nothing is happening in that even the time in the even the timestamps are working fine, but there is nothing happening because we have not applied any simulator. But after applying this rigid body simulator, you can see that now this block is just moving downwards and doing nothing because it is just a rigid body which is falling free falling itself. Now if we apply the rigid body to this itself, like rigid body to this surface, now you can see that now please see that what will happen. Let me adjust the viewport. Now both of them are falling together. That is because we have just applied the dynamic simulation. If I just turn off this dynamic simulation, you can see that now it is working well fine. The dynamic simulation, what it does is like it gives the dynamic, like it gives the gravitational force to the object. Right now you can see that if I press the spacebar key and only this cube is moving because I have right now applied the dynamic simulation. Like if I remove it, now it is just doing nothing. It is just it is just directly it is just doing nothing because there is nothing to do. Nothing is moving, so will happen. Let me just do this, and now you can see that it is just landing softly, but it is not the natural landing. If something is falling off, it must be like bouncing a bit. These things you can control from this tab, from all this tab, like let me show you. Okay. Let's just say this block, I want that this, if it is a box and when it is falling on a surface, it should bounce a bit. So right now, if I increase this bounciness, see what is happening. Most probably nothing will happen. Yeah, it is just exact same simulation. Nothing is happening. If I just, let's just say I just again do it to 0 and increase the surface bounciness, nothing is happening because we need to, because only a surface can't be bouncy, both surface need to be bouncy. Now if I increase the bounciness of the both the surface to the 1, now see what will happen. It is acting like a trampoline right now, and this is what we really don't want. Normal surfaces do not act like this, so we can just adjust it, like we can just zero point 0.5 say, and let it be on 1. And now let's see, now it is bit of natural thing. It is still too bouncy, you can just control it. uh, okay, sorry. So if we just like right now it is just bit too bouncy, let's just decrease this bounciness more, like zero point 0.2. I think it will be fine. Let's just do this, and one time it takes the time to bake itself. Baking is means like uh, rendering all the stuff, and now it is bit too that. Let's do it at 0 0.3. I think that is bit perfect, and let's just, and remember one thing: the angle which is it in which direction it is dropping, it will affect it more. Like, right, if I do like this, and let's just say in, okay, it has just Okay. Yeah. So now I have rotated it in a direction. So now you can see that it is just completely different simulation. So this is the real time simulation. It will just try to simulate everything in the real life scenario only. This is the thing that I like the most about the Blender is just do the realistic things. And remember one thing, I just forgot about telling you one thing in starting that if you add the geometry, it will be more finer. The more the geometry, more the computer needs to work and more better the simulation. But if your PC is not that high capable and it can't handle lots of calculation, try to do a low poly job only because right now I am also trying to be low poly only because my PC is not that powerful which can handle so many geometry. So right now we are doing this only. Okay, I think this is for the initial, and these things are like sensitivity and etc. are just things which you might not be needing right now. These things are later on useful. So right now, let me delete everything and let's just let's just try to make something out of this collision. And one more thing, let's just when we are here I will show you one more simulation. Right now I have shown that right now rigid body simulator. Let me show you the collision simulator too. It is just same as uh, this one only. Let me show you collision simulator in different way. Let me add a cube again and okay, let me add some modifier. Right now I'm trying to make a wall out of this and and show you and trying to show you like how this works, like collision simulator works. I'm making a bit of a simulation. I will bit of a animation and right now let's just to make a wall, let's just use the modifier and let's set this offset to bit. I think this will be enough, or let's just say 1.1. I think nope, it is too much. 1.05. Yeah, I think this will work. And let's just do the count to 10. Okay, let's just scale this plane and GX. Let me add one more array modifier, and this time we are not going to use it on x-axis. Instead we are going to use it on z-axis. I think this will be fine, or let's just do it like 0.2. Yeah, this will be fine I think. And just to increase this a bit. Okay, and I think it's a bit too much. Bit more, minus 0.02. I think, yeah, or let's just do it 0.2 minus 0.05. Yeah, it will be fine. And now just increase the count it to 10 also. And now, okay, now you need to follow me very specifically because you might like behind, like if I do this, wait a second, let me just put all these other things to the collection. move into collection. Press to move, make a new collection. You need to press M. Select the all the object by pressing Shift key, then press the M key to move it to a new collection. And let's just say collection 2 for now. And now these things are in the second collection. Like you can see this here, like collection 1, collection 2, and if you just uncheck it, it will just disappear from your menu and it will be easier to work with. So right now let's just do this. And okay, uh, where were we? Yeah. So right now we need to apply these modifier. To apply these modifier, we need to press down arrow key and press apply button, and let's just apply these simulation. After that we need to go into this and sorry for the inconvenience. There was some background noise, so I just closed the door. Okay. So right now we just apply these modifiers which I have used for array. Now we what we want is like these objects need to work separately, different from each other. Like right now you can see that these are all combined. If there's a single piece of array, or you can say like right now I can't individually manipulate each of the tile. Like if I do anything, it will just do like this. It is on completely on one cube. So to do this, press tab key and then press right mouse button. Going to for tab by pressing tab key, I am going to edit modifier, edit mode, and after clicking it, go to separate and by loose part. You by loose part, what it does is like, let me show you. What it does, it just treat every cube as cuboid as individual uh, shape itself. Like initially it was just doing this, but right now there is one more problem. Like if I try to do anything to this cube, it is just following this origin. So we do not want that. To press so press a key to select everything in the viewport, then object, set origin. Okay. So now right you need not to go into the edit mode. You can just do it in the object mode only. uh, Going pressing in object mode, click right mouse button and go to set origin, and use that origin to the center of the mass volume, because right now we need these individual cuboids to have their own origin so that we can treat them as individual cuboid. So by doing it, set origin and origin to the center of mass. So by doing this, you can see that each cuboid has its own separate property. So let's just make it more of all. To make this as more of all, use this snap tool. What it does is like it will just automatically snap everything to its place. GX, and I think, nope, it is too far away. GX. Okay, it is just doing this. Just turn off it. Yeah, I think this is fine. So right now we have a brick wall. I'm not giving it textures or any stuff because it will take lots of time, and this is not for texturing. It is just all about the simulation, physics type simulation. So right now we can see that there is nothing like, right. I have not applied any thing to these, any physics simulation or anything. So to do this, what we can do is like, uh, let's just provide first of all a collision simulator to this platform. Okay, I think I didn't told about you collision simulator. Okay, let's just first saw that. Let me just hide this and add another cube. Okay, right now like the cube, let me put it a rigid body. Okay, let me just put it collision only, and collision and rigid body. Oof. I think I am not applying. Did I apply this or not? Hmm? Now, now you can see that what the collision simulator does. Right now, see this. Right now, what it did was like, initially we have the bouncy thing and everything, but we do not have this vibration which is coming, because this, what is happening is, it is just collision, like, as you know, what is the meaning of collision? That's what it is doing. It is just simulating the collision itself. It is just yeah, it is just simulating the collision. Like, initially, if I initial simulation, I just deleted that. In that, we need to set the bounciness and everything, but we can't do anything else specifically. Like the bounciness, for the bounciness, I need to change the settings instead of uh, just doing this. Like right now, I have applied two modifier on it, on each of them. Like right now I have in like I have applied collision simulator and rigid body simulator, and same on cube. So it is giving me the collision simulation. It is just one of the greatest simulation. It is more specifically used in particle system to do that particle job, but we are not going to see that because particle thing is will take time to simulate, and my right now my laptop is not that powerful to simulate it. So we will be skipping that part, but it has its own good use. And if you, I will show you more modifiers. Other than that, let's just get back to our original what we were doing. Okay, I have done too much of simulation. Let me just delete and start again. I was just pressing Control Z to get to the original simulation, but already I have did so many things on that one block. It is taking a while, so I am just adding the plane again. Let me just scale it up, and let me just bring my wall. Let's just make it a bit more, and let's just delete this some blocks. I think these are not required at all. Okay, and let's just scale it a bit more. Okay, where is my lights? All these light source and camera things, they will be come in role when we were doing that. We were started when we will start more of rendering part. Right now we are just playing and seeing what all the simulators and what other thing do. So let me just see the chat boxes. Someone is saying something. Okay, set the snap to the faces, right? You are right, but I think I'm just not needing it right now. So let's just it is. I think it is fine right now. So yeah, uh, let me just add the rigid body right now. If I add the rigid body, let's just see what happens. Okay, it is just falling on itself, and I just forgot to add that rigid body on this one. Okay. Oh, let me turn off the dynamic. And you can just see like it is just falling itself and doing nothing at all. But we really don't want this right now. We want what we want is like we want that all these cubes have the same property. So to do this, let me just put it in this one collection, and let's just hide this. And okay, and select all, go to object, digit body, and copy for active. So what I want to do is right now, like I want this block, like right now I have just apply the all this rigid body. I want to apply all to these all blocks or all bricks. So to do this, I can go to object, then go to rigid body and copy for active. Copy for active means which I have selected. So by pressing it, it will just automatically do this. And let me just bring black my plane and other stuff. So now you can see that you can just a slight change. Like right now you can see there is bit of a gap. It will be filled because the blocks will come to this surface, and like this you can see there's a tiny gap which is filling it up. This is a bit, I think you guys can see it. This is because like right now each block is like now acting as a rigid body or as a right now we are taking a brick example, so it is acting as a brick, and it will be on top of each other. Moving forward, let's just add a UV sphere. Yeah, UV sphere. Let's just increase its size. Mm, and let's just shade this mode, and let's just animate it a bit, like pressing I to okay. For animation, I think most of you guys might not be knowing what is animation or other stuff in this Blender and etc. So animation is like we just animate the things like cartoon stuff and everything which are animated. It is similar to it. So if I just do this like for the animation we need to set the keyframes. In order to set the keyframes in Blender, you need to press I key and go to this location. Like we are just right now, if I press this, what it does is this will remember this location. And after this, after remembering this location, it will when I like let me show you. It will be easier to explain. Like if I put it the location, and now what I want is like this ball needs to go some here. Like let me just not hit it. Okay, and let's just say after 10 seconds I want this ball to hit there. Okay, I just first of all I need to go to 10 seconds, or let's just for this right now let's just go for 30 seconds and press G and just take this to here. I think bit more here. Okay, it is colliding. Okay, I think it will be fine. And again, press the I key and location. Now what it is like, now Blender will remember the animation thing. Let's just play it and you can see that it is just going towards it. But right now we don't want it. What we want is like it should collide and make this brick wall fall. So let's just add the rigid body simulator and dynamic. Uh, Wait a sec. Okay, let's just play and see what it does. Okay, it just didn't do much because the speed was quite low. Let me tell you what let me just, first of all, let me just undo it because I didn't explain you what I did. Okay, right now we have just animated our ball and it is doing absolutely nothing. I think this gap is quite big. Let's just delete this one. Delete keyframe. What I did for deleting a keyframe is that do not select both. Select the keyframe which you want to delete and press the delete key. And after that, the option will appear delete the keyframe. Just delete the keyframe. So for the 30-second, what I do is I just bring this ball bit near to the wall. I think this will be fine. Okay, and let's just add a keyframe. Press I key, location, and I think this animation will be fine. Okay, now what I want to do is I want this wall to fall off. If I animate right now to 40 seconds and like if I pass through the wall, nothing will happen because right now no physics property has been applied to this sphere. So to do this, like I will add this rigid body. After applying the rigid body, if I press it, this will happen. Like the ball is automatically just falling in this direction because I have just applied the rigid body simulator instead of animated one. Animated one is not being used. Instead, this dynamic one is being used. So to use that animated one, you need to check this tick box and mark as keyframe right here. After that, go to your 30-second mark and uncheck the animated one and mark the keyframe. So what I did was this sphere need to follow this animation part till here. After that, the simulation will start to happen. So let's just see what will happen. You can see that it just softly landed and it just pushed only a one brick. To change all this, what you can do is you can just increase the speed. Like, okay, I just selected both of them, Control Z, only one, and let's just say to 10 seconds. Now it is a completely different animation. You can see that. Hey, it feels cool now. This ball hitting the this ball hitting this wall. Bricks are falling, and I have just paused it in the middle of it. Okay, let's just focus back on our look. So the frames right now, what I did was initially it was taking the 30 frame to reach this area. so the speed was quite slow. Now what I did was I just reduced the number of frames it will take to reach this wall, so it is increases the speed of this animation, and so that of ball. So right now this, we can just play around with these settings. Like if I increase the mass of a sphere to, let's say, 10 kg, and now it will be completely different simulation. Like now this ball has a lot more momentum, and it is just smashing this wall and going outside the map, I will say, with these bricks. Okay, they are falling too far, but yeah. So this is what is happening. Cool, na? This is what rigid body simulator does. This is the like you can make tons of simulation out of it. You can do anything with this modifier. If you guys have any question in any step, you can ask in the chat box. Then we will move on to other simulator. Okay, I think no doubts or anything. Okay, yes, we can set the friction too. Is this body exactly okay? Uh, First of all, I will like to show you the friction thing. This is a good question. I just forgot about it. Yes, we can set the friction too. For the friction, let's just say for the brick, and this is the friction thing. We can increase the friction too. Let's just, instead of doing the friction on the bricks, let's just, okay, you want the friction in the bricks, right? Yeah, you want friction in the bricks. So right now, if I change the friction in the brick, like initially we what we did it, we take this brick and apply the dynamic rigid body simulator and apply everything to other bricks. But if I change the friction right now for this block, like let's just say I just increase the friction, and first of all, the friction is under the collision tab. uh, Collision tab, right? It is in under the settings. Under the settings there is a collision tab. You can just go and increase the friction in the in the surface response. So here I can increase the friction, but if I increase the friction to this brick, you can't, you can see that it didn't apply to every brick. It is on this brick only. And if you want to apply to all the bricks, we need to do the same thing. Let me just uncheck this thing and hide this sphere so that it is easier to work. And after that, press the A key to select all this. You need to check that the brick you want, this the property of the brick you want to apply is it in yellow, and other all the others are in orange. After that, go to object and rigid body and copy for the active. So now you can see that every tab. Now you can see that every brick has its own friction to set to that only. This is how you can change the friction in the bricks. And let's just now see what simulation look like. Like you can now see that there is bit of a friction more than that, but it is not good enough. So what we can do is we can even increase the friction of the surface. Let's just say it is on 1. Okay, it will take a time to bake itself, and you can see that it is like more, it is less brick than previous one which were falling. And we can do one more thing, we can even increase this friction of this sphere too, so that it do not fall from the cliff, from the surface, not the cliff. Now you can see that it is not falling, but yeah, it is falling. Let's just increase the size of the plane too, so that it doesn't fall away. Yeah, you can see that there is a lot more friction than the previous one. Like the bricks are falling less. So this is how you can apply the friction. It is under the collision tab, under the collisions, and in this, and you can increase the friction. Okay, coming to the other question, is body what exactly does the dynamic things? Yes, the it does dynamic things, but it is not compulsory that uh, you can just like what you said, like right now I have just turned off the dynamic thing on this plane. And it's the dynamic thing, what it does is just give the motion to the object. If you do not want to give the motion to the object, you can just freeze it up there itself. Like I have freeze this plane, let me show you. Like right now this plane is freezed. If I just give this dynamic to it, it will just fall away. Okay, it is just quite messy. If I do that, you can see that it is just hitting the block, everything is falling apart because now the plane is dynamic. But if I just turned it off and I want to like, I want this plane to be flat, it do not move anywhere, I can do it, it will do the rigid thing. Understood? Any other doubt you can ask me, then we can move on to the cloth simulator. There is a 10-second delay between what I do and talk to you guys, so do not bother about it. You can just ask anything. I'm just seeing the chat. I will reply you as I see your message. If for no doubt, we can move on to the cloth simulator. Yeah, today I'm just going to explain the modifiers only, because this is okay. Modifier, not the, I have explained the modifier in the previous workshop. You can see its recording, and it is just a physics tab modifier, physics tab simulation more specifically. In this modifier, we have discussed all this generator modifiers and physics modifier. Right now, we are dealing with. Other than that, this is it. We are just today. We are just. I think the time will be bit short, so we are just going to see the rigid modifier and rigid body modifier and cloth simulator. I think we can move on to cloth simulator. Let me delete all this stuff. Okay. Uh, for cloth, let's just say let's just start with some basics of the cloth simulator. Uh, right now, let's just take the cube. Let me scale it a bit and take the plane. Let me include a plane and increase its size to like something. I think this will be fine. Now, as I initially told you, geometry is the main thing about any simulation. If you higher the geometry, better you will get the results during the simulation because there is more geometry for the computer to calculate everything. But as you know that more the calculation, it will be more load on your PC. So right now, as I'm streaming too, I'm not going to go crazy about the geometry, but you can go if your PC support that much. Let me just take this camera out of this frame. Where's the camera? Oh, I just turned off it. Okay, G here. So I think you guys are quite new to the Blender, so you might not be knowing what all this stuff is. So this is the camera. This by pressing the 0 on your numpad, you can go to this, and this is the thing which will get rendered in your viewport. In your render, if you press F12, F12 key, right now if I press the F12 key, let me show you. This is what is getting rendered. It is nothing because the lighting is too dark. Like this is the light source and this is the camera, and all this stuff is here, and the attendance form is here. You guys can fill the attendance and get the attendance for this for the workshop. And let me so let's get back to the clock simulator. So let's just say I just add the collision simulator to this, and if I add the cloth simulator right now, let's just see what happened. I'm doing nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm not providing a geometry to this cloth or anything, and I'm just given the collision simulator to this cube and the cloth simulator to this plane. And I just press the key and nothing happened. Why? Because I have not provided any geometry to this, what do you say, cloth. There is no geometry at all, so it do not know what to do. And now we what we can do is go by selecting this plane and go to edit mode and press the subdivision. Let's just get a subdivision and increase the cut to, let's just say 22. For me 22. You can go to 50, 60, 70. Higher the geometry, higher is your rendering simulation good quality, but I am going for 22 uh, because as I already told you, let me just repeat myself what I did. I just go to edit mode and click the right mouse button, and after clicking the right mouse button, I clicked on subdivision. After clicking on subdivision, you might do not touch anything. If you move your mouse around, if you just move this plane around or anything, if you click on anything, this will just disappear. And you can change only once if you want, if you have to. So number of cuts, I can just go for like I'm going for 22. You can go for more if your PC support. So what I did is I just provided so many vertex to it. You can go to vertex on all this stuff from here, vertex, edge, and faces. Vertex. I have provided lots of vertex to this plane. Now let's just see what happens now. Now let's just see the simulation. Now you can see that it is just behaving more like a cube right now, more like a cloth right now than the previous one. And same goes for this cube also. If you provide its geometry to it, more geometry to it, you can just get better result with the cube also. Let me just provide some geometry, like going to edit mode, press Control B. I'm just beveling out the surfaces a bit, adding some more vertices, like 4 vertices, and I think this will be fine. Now the simulation will be a bit more cleaner than the previous one. This is what exactly it is doing. If you have any doubt on any step, you can just ask me in the chat box. I will be happy to answer your questions or any doubts. If you have missed any step, you can just ask me. uh, okay, this is what the cloth simulator do right now. If you ever did it, like if you have, if you have a handkerchief and just put it down it on a cube or anything, it will just simulate like this only. But this is not the only application of the cloth simulator. And let's just see, like you can see that it is not smooth right now or anything. You can just, you can just play around with the settings and stuff. And right now it is not even doing well for the cloth simulation 2, I will say. So click on the this plane and go to its physics tab. After that, we can increase the steps quality. By increasing it, you will get better result uh, in this simulation. This is the vertex mass. Like each vertex into this mass is equal to weight of this sheet. So right now, I think okay, there are too many vertices. There are the total number of vertices. We can multiply it with the vertex mass, and get you can get the weight of the sheet. Hmm. We can join the cloth simulator with rigid object. I didn't get you. Can you just explain it a bit? It is working fine in Windows 11. It gets crashed sometimes, I will say. That's why I'm not using 3.0 right now. I'm using 2.9 itself, because 3.0 and the Windows 11 combination, it get crash a lot of time. That's why I'm using 2.9 right now. Okay. Oh, that's the thing. I will tell you. I will tell you. Like a flag or anything. We will make curtains out of this cloth simulator. You will get it. How these how to uh, how to point, how to fix some cloth simulator anywhere. Okay, let's moving on to this. So right now I want this simulation to be like here. You can just mm, let's just decrease the tension to like 5, I think. Yeah, now you can see it is better than the last simulation. It is just more like last time it is just like a sheet. Now it is acting more like a cloth. We can just change the banding. We can just decrease the banding not to 0. Let's just say zero point 0.3. And yeah, better, but not that much better. Let's just decrease it to 5.2 compression. And yeah, it is much better, I will say. To shade this smooth, like right now you can see that these, and this is the blocky sheet. The sheets do not look like this, I will say. So what you can do is like click in object view mode, click right mouse button and shade smooth. Like it is much better than the previous one, but still you can see that there is some artifaction going on and all this stuff. You can do it like go to modifier and subdivision surface modifier, and now you can see this, like it is just bit better. And now you can see this, there is a bit of a problem. Like why this is happening? This is happening because there is low geometry on my cube right now. And yeah, right now my cube has low geometry, so it is unable to calculate where to stop itself, or where to, like it is just difficult for blender right now to calculate. I need to give more geometry to uh, my block, and it will be able to understand how this simulation need to work. So you can now see that this cloth is now perfectly a cloth. It has just low artifactions right now, artifactions and other stuff. So for now, let me just remove the subdivision because it will be a lot of work for my PC to handle. It might crash. This session will, yeah, it will be available on this YouTube channel only. This session will be available on YouTube channel, and even the previous streams are also available on the in this on this channel, tech channel only. You can go and watch. I think one is shaders tab for Blender, and one is for modifiers, generate modifier. We did it. Moving on. Let's just say, okay, these things are something which we really don't require right now. One more thing I want to show you under the collision, like I have selected this sheet, and under the physics tab, I am going to collision, and here I need to check the self collision too, because right now it is not happening. I'm not doing any simulation where the cloth touches each other. If the cloth touch each other, it might pass through itself, so we need to have some self collision in it. So this is the checkbox you need to tick when you are doing simulation. Now let's just move on to bit of a fun part. Like one of you guys asked how to attach something to the pole or anything like that. Let's just do that. Let me just delete. Let's just have this cube, and we will be adding a plane. For now, let's just say this plane do not have anything. Let's just plane give the collision for right now. Okay, and let's just add another plane, and G and Z, and let's increase the size to this. Going to edit mode, adding subdivisions. Let's just do it 22, and going to this, and okay, I didn't give the cloth simulation to it. Cloth, oh, collision, sorry, cloth. So right now it is just falling normally, nothing much. Let's just increase the size of this plane. Let's just be this one, this much. Yeah, right now you can see that this is falling like this, and this is all it is doing. Now what I want is like, I want this what I want is like, I can just uh, hang it itself like this. So for this, press shift key plus alt key and click on the vertex. And I have what I did is I just selected the edge of this loop, and after that go to this object data property, and under the vertex group click on plus button and assign this vertexes to a group. Are you able to follow me? Press right yes or no. The after that I will move forward. Okay. Let me just delete it, and let's just go to right now I have what I already did is like I just have applied the cloth simulator to it, and collision to these two. So after clicking on this cloth simulation, press the tab key, tab key for to go to edit view mode. Here you can edit the stuff and other stuff. So now what I did is I just take okay, what we have to join. Let me show you. Let me show you. Now press press Shift Alt press Shift key, then Alt key, and then click on any vertex. Like I have not like this. If you click on this vertex, you will just select this. We need to select this row right now. This row because we want to control it. We want this to be controlled. How we like to do, like press Shift Alt and press on this vertex, and right now we have selected this edge. Now we want to control this edge, like if we want to make flag or if we want to make curtain out of it, uh, we need to control this edge. So we need to make a vertex group out of it. So after selecting this, we need to go to object data property, this one, this triangle one, and click on it, and go to under vertex group. After clicking on plus sign, we need to assign it. Click on assign button. Now we have a group, we have this vertex group under the name of group. After this, go to object view mode. No, not on object view mode, and go to physics tab. Under that, take the this one. Under that, go to I clear now. If you are clear to till this part, we can move forward. Okay. So now after clicking on this, after we have assigned this to vertex group, now we will go to our physics tab properties, and here we will go to shape. Now here it is like pin group. We can here itself pin the group. The group we have formed, like we have formed a group right now, this one, and we have pinned it. Now before going to, let's just do one more thing. After doing this, click F3 and search for hook, this one, hook to new object, and you will find this uh, empty object. After doing this, let's just go to object view mode and press space button. Now you can see this, it is just hooked itself, and uh, it is just hooked right now. This is what I think you were talking about initially. And right now what we can do is we can just take this and we can move it around. Okay, it is not getting moved right now. This is because in the modifier tab it is very important for you to organize your hierarchy. This modifier tab work in hierarchy system. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to drag this hook to upper side of the cloth. If it is going, if it is above the cloth simulator, then it will be doing fine. Okay, let's just go to first Z. Okay, he's just less interested in doing it. Okay, it is just taking a bit longer for my computer to react because it is too much of geometry to work for it. And let's just, I think I just forgot the self collision. Okay, it is on. So this is what we can do from it. And let's just do go to properties and hook or text group. Yeah, wait a second, I just did something wrong. Okay, yeah. Now after going to it, just apply this group and go here and press this. Yeah, okay, overlapped each other. Now you can see this. This is the simulation, what is happening. So now, this is what is happening. So wherever I move it, oh, I just hide it. I just pressed H. To hide the objects, you can press on H. Other than that, you can just move it around like this. My just it is not happening in the real time because my PC is not working that fine right now. Okay, this is what basic cloth simulator do. Let me just undo all this stuff and let me just delete this hook for now. We will be back. We will be making a curtain out of it because we have time. There's still time to do this. And let me just delete this hook and this empty object. Nope, this empty object. Yeah. Okay. Right now, if we just play it in object view mode, okay, it is still attached. Let me just remove it from pinned. Okay, this is right now this. And one more thing, let me just show you one more thing which might be important. If I select this cloth simulator and go down to the uh, cache, where is cache? Yeah, here. Go to down the cache and here is a bake option. Bake option, what it did does is it just I don't think fluid simulator we will able to do it today. We have just seen the rigid body collision and cross simulator. I think this will be it for the today. We might be taking another workshop. I think next to next week or something like that for Blender. Where there we will be doing water simulation and fluid simulation and other stuff. Okay, let's just doing it and Okay. I was telling about the bake. So bake simulation, it is used for this bake simulation is used for to bake itself. Like for example, I am just fine with this simulation. I think this simulation is perfect for my uh, for for doing it. So what I do is I will just bake it. It will take some time, and now the simulation is saved. Now if you make any changes to the environment, like let's just say I just move this cube here, still there will be no effect on the simulation. It will act as like this block is still exists there because I have just baked it, and this will increase the size of your blender file. But if you accidentally change anything or did anything wrong, you will be sure that your simulation will remain the same. So this is one thing. And to just change the simulation, you need to click on delete bake, and now you need to again just go to 0th frame, and you can, oh, it is still saved. You need, I think I need to refresh it. This blue bar shows how it is rendered. Oof. I need to, I think, okay, it has been baked. I need to delete it. Oof. Delete all bakes. It should work fine now. Nope. My computer is less interested in doing the work again. Once I baked it, I don't know why. This is sometimes happens in Blender. Ah, yeah, now it is working fine. This is the problem with Blender. Sometimes that's why initially you can bake in the modules. We will be seeing it in the water simulation, but right now for cloth simulation, I don't think we need to bake it in modules. But yeah, so it does the job, but sometimes it just do things like that. Now just let's just make what you say. Let's just make a curtain. Try to make a curtain. It will be fun. You can follow along with me. Yeah, that's what I did. Next time I will be removing. Next time I will be removing the 10-second delay because I can't see your guys' immediate responses. So doing all the stuff again, all that stuff, subdividing it to, let's just say, 22, and applying the cloth simulator, and let's just simulate it once. Uh, this, oh, love it. I think internal collision is on. I think, nope. Let's just see. Collision, shape, nope, collision. Oh, collision, self collision, it is off. Now it will be have a different effect. Yeah, now you can see that the cloth is not intersecting with itself, intersecting or overlapping with itself. And right now the tension is too high in the sheet. This is, these do not feel like uh, cloth. Let's just reduce the tension. Let's just say to 4. It's still too much. Let's just decrease the banding to not 0. Let's just do zero point 0.1. Yeah, it is still too much compression. Let's just decrease it to like 4. You need to play around with these settings to get the best result what you want. uh, yeah, I think nope, still. Let's just decrease this to. There's nothing like, I can't tell you any perfect settings for anything. You need to just play around yourself and get the perfect result whatever you want. Like what I want, I need to just change the settings and see it. Let's just dampening, also reduce the tension, compression, yeah, and yeah, yeah. I think this is better. Still, it is getting a bouncy effect, which I really don't want. Let's just try to remove that bouncy effect, because this bounce, I don't think any cloth just bounce after getting it to. Oh, have I put it on collision? Okay, let me just do it a rigid body instead. And passive, I think, nah, it's still getting bouncy bit. Still bouncy. This is the cloth property, I think some. I need to change it. Let's just give it again the collision. Yeah, it is a cloth property. Uh, if you guys have any suggestion for not getting it bounce, you can tell me. If I increase its weight a bit, like 0.4, I think it directly just do not bounce. Yeah, bit less. Let me just increase the weight of each vertex to zero point 0.5. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm just increasing the weight of the vertex. Each vertex is mass. It is like number of vertex into the mass of the vertex is equal to your weight of the sheet or cloth. Yeah, offset. Let's just try the offset, but I don't think it is an offset thing. Uh, let's just say offset. Field weight. Yeah, slightly. Yeah, we can do that, but we can slant it a bit. But I really don't want to slant it. Like I just want. Generally, the uh, cloths are not like they just. We can do that, but nope, I don't think so. Slanting is the solution. There must be some property which I'm missing out. I will see it by myself and tell you in next workshop. So let's moving on to making a curtain. Now let's just do that thing again. Where were we? Going to edit view mode. Again, selecting these vertices. Shift Alt and hit a vertex. Nope, not this one. Yeah, like this. Assigning it to a group. Assign. And yeah, let's just see the simulation. Oh, I just forgot to pin it. Let me just pin it quickly. Quickly shape. Under the shape, go to pin group and pin that group of vertices and line like right. Right now it is just perfect. Now what we want is like curtains generally is like uh, in the shape they are folding in towards it. And so what we can do is we can just keyframe it and do that. I will back in a minute. I need to go to the washroom. I'm just pausing the stream for a bit. I will be back in a minute. Okay, guys, I'm back. So moving on. Till now, we have what we have did is like we have just pinned this simulation to this cloth till now, and we have didn't do anything much. Now what we want is like curtain generally fold itself. Like if you want to simulate the curtain, you it will be a generally folding curtain or something like that. So to do this, what we can do is like we have just pinned this group, right? Now, first of all, let's just go to this vertex and shape key. I think you guys can see this shape key right now, right? So let's just say, sorry, Control Z. Yeah. So now what we can do is we can just assign a shape key to it. Shape key. Let me tell you what the shape key does. Let's just say I have added a shape key, then added one more key and go to edit mode. And in edit mode, let's just say what I did is I just let's just say I just pick this up and see. Uh, I think nope, not like this. Let's just say. mm, let's just say this, and I have assigned it. Okay, it is just bad. Let's just say like this. I have did this. Now if I go to object view mode and this value I just change it this value. Hmm. Oh, I didn't make the group out of it, that's why it is not working. Let me just do it. Just press the control Z few more times and this, and let me just show you up itself. Add one more key and let's just say I did this, and now going to value. mm, wait a second guys, I need to figure out why it is not working. Sometimes in Blender things do not work. You need to, yeah, as you saw it in that thing. Let me just see why it is not working. Okay, let's just say I just added the two keys, and if I did this, okay, just on this. Nope. G like this, and going to the mode. Okay, it is working. Oh, I think I have just applied to some wrong setting for the cloud simulator. That's why it is happening. Uh, so for it, let's just say, mm, let's just say for it right now. Okay, it is working now fine. I don't know. I just sometimes need Blender for this. Like now it is working fine. Blender does these things sometimes. That's just a bit problem with the Blender, and other than that, there is like I'm just using the older version, so there might be some bugs which is left behind. That might be one more thing. So you can see that. Let me explain you from the starting what I was doing and what was I want to explain. So let's just go to our initial settings from where we started. Okay, we are back to this. So right now, what I will do is I will just make a vertex group out of it. I'm just making a vertex group, assigning it, and going to the cloth simulation, and in the under the shape tab, I'm just pinning this group so that it do not fall away. So this is what has been. Okay. Now coming back to what I was initially trying to tell you is like here there's a shape key. Shape key, what it does, it just remember what shape it was initially and what shape you want to do. So this helps in doing the animation from the scratch. Let me show you what I mean. Like if I add a key, it is a base key. After that, I'm adding one more key, key one. Now going to the edit view mode and taking here and pressing G, and in G also let's just use this gradient, and not in this direction, let's just say G and this. And now if we go to object view mode and let's just say like this, go to here, and this is the value. If we increase the value, now you can see that it is just linearly increasing, increasing this changes. So this is what we have trying to animate. So if I say that like I pin this here and go to like 10, and it set it at 1 and set up another keyframe. This button is for setting a keyframe. You can set the object keyframe true, and after that if I hit play button, like see, so it is just trying to simulate it. What what I did. Uh, like let me just move it bit here so that it is bit more visible. Okay, I just pinned it there so will work this only. You saw it like what I initially did. Yeah, like this. So this is what is happening. Okay, but do not want this right now. What we want is like our curtains to be folded. So to do that, let's just delete all these keys and start from the scratch. Not from the scratch, I will say. Let's just select this, yeah, and go to object view mode, adding two keys, and then going back to this. And now what we want is like initially we want a key to be. Let me just turn off that gradient. Uh, I think I have selected some other vertex too. Yeah, this one. This, and what I want is like need to be folded, but I really don't want them to fold in this direction. Like right now you can see that these are getting in the wrong direction. Instead I want them to fold in this direction. For that, what I can do is I can select this vertex and click shift S and cursor to the selected. 3D cursor to the selected. Now we got the this 3D cursor here. After getting 3D cursor, uh, we can set it like let me show you cursor. And if I now select it like Shift Alt here, and like now you can see that everything is going towards it. Let me show you again what I did. I just first selected a vertex and click Shift S. After clicking the Shift S, I selected the 3D cursor on the selected. So the select 3D cursor get to the selected. Now in this tab transfer pivot point, for the pivot point I just set the 3D cursor. Like now this is my pivot point. Whatever I will do on the selected vertices, it will be towards it. So now let's just say that it is our base this, and after that the keyframe one will be this. And going to that, and let's just simulate it. Let's just see something happen. Nope, nothing happened. Why? Because we have not set the keyframes. We need to set the keyframe at 0 here, and let's just say let us fold our curtains till 20 frames. And now let's just see what will happen. Yeah, this is what is happening, but right now it is not happening perfectly. It will take a time, but yeah, it is happening. You can see that curtains are getting folded. To make it bit more uh, obvious, let's just say we increase to 40 simulation. Yeah, now you can see we are getting some curtain shapes. Not the perfect one, I will say. For that, we will be needing some time and patience to do it. Let's just shade this smooth, and let's just add the subdivision modifier to it. Yeah, I think bit better. Uh, we'll just increase the view quality to this. Yes. Oof. Now you can see it, like we are getting the better result than the previous one. Like we are getting the curtains, but still these curtains are not the perfect one. Uh, let's just delete this animation for now, and delete the keyframe. Sorry. If you have guys any doubt till now, you can ask me. If you want anything to be repeated, anything which you guys didn't able to understand, you can ask me. Oof. Yeah. So this is the this is what the blender does. If you guys can, if you guys are able to see, it just sometimes give you best animation, and sometimes it just do these weird things. This is some problem. That's why the bake option is the best. If you are satisfied with your animation, you just directly click on uh, bake animation, and it will bake you the animation. Let's just do it to 70, and now let's see. It will be a bit slow, but yeah, now it is just, I think it is a bit more perfect. We can add the textures and all the stuff to it through UV map, or and even shading tab we can do this. But right now I am not going to do this because it is a simulation class, simulation workshop, not the texturing one. So this is it for the cloth simulation. I think this is the most practical use which I was able to think for the simulation. See, this is the blender. Blender sometimes like to do this stuff because I'm just rubbing rubbing the timeline fast, so it is just trying to simulate it fast. So this is what is happening, and even this happens during the rewind. So yeah, Blender is bit, but uh, in the favor of Blender, it is just doing a wonderful job. If we were doing it manually, it will take forever to simulate this. And even we can do is like, let me show you one more thing. Let's just say this platform is here. Now I think the simulation will be different. Yeah, now the cloth is dragging on the floor, and same if for example I would say, instead of this animation, let's just say this animation exists, and what we want is we want that some clip or something like is mm, also holding it. So let me give you an example really cool, real quick. First let me add this, and everything is fine for this. Going to the edit view mode, clicking 7 on the numpad, going to wireframe mode, and selecting the half of this, uh, let's just say this much, and deleting it vertexes, and I think yes, this is fine. Going to solid view mode, this G here. Yeah, I think it is perfect. And now including the, where is the physics tab? Okay, collision, and let's just say uh, okay, let's just animate it. Press I to mark the location, and then G, X, and let's just say till here. I, wait a second, this is here. So let's just say we want it, I think I need to just move it a bit down. Just delete this keyframe, and GZ here, GZ here, and I location on, I think 40 frame it should be GX here. It should bind till here, I location, and let's just now play it and see is it doing anything or not. Yeah, see it. I have added the collision simulator, and it is just tying up the curtains. So like it is just colliding. See, so this is what you can do. You can just add different simulation to different things, and you can just make cool stuff from out of it. Like I have just the cloth simulation is there, and I just added the collision simulation to a uh, torus, and then I just animated it a bit. Like I just move it forward, and it just collided with the cloth, and Blender will do rest of your job. So I think this is for the day. Today we just saw rigid body modifier, cloth modifier, and collision modifier. In next workshop, we will try to cover fluid, uh, fluid, the soft body, and the force fields. Force field and the fluid will be done together because they are just made for each other, I will say. The time is over. Otherwise, I will have shown you force field one through the cloth simulation. We have made a window and a curtain on top of it, and air is coming from the window. It will be a fun project. We will do it if we will find some time to make it. So that is it. Thanks for patience. And if you have any doubt, you can just ask me right now. I am available till 1. Anything is there you want to ask me? I think everything is clear, so I will meet you guys later in some other workshop. I think this its part 2 will be happening uh, after 2 weeks, because we have other workshops planned for next week, next to next week too. After that, I will be doing the part 2 of this. You can join me there, and let's just end this stream. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.